The show that you're about to listen to may contain themes of violence, occult activity, strong language, and other sensitive material, as well as a trigger warning. This podcast is meant for educational purposes only, and we mean nothing but respect to the parties involved. Listener discretion is advised. We strive to tell stories in a truthful manner, but press, media, and other sources cannot be verified. Sources can be found in the show notes.
Hello.
Hi.
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 My name is Bria.
I'm Tegan.
I almost said my name is Bria and I'm Tegan. I almost said them both. I don't know why. Yes. I'm both Bria and Tegan.
I don't know if you want to be me.
I don't know either. I can barely handle being me.
I can't handle being me most of the time.
So why would I be both of us? I don't know.
I mean, you probably, if you wanted to, you probably could, but I don't recommend it.
I don't know. I don't think I recommend it either. There's a lot going on between the both of us.
Oh, yeah. Imagine both of our schedules combined. Well, I work 4 days a week. You work 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm. I work technically four.
Okay.
But I'm here on Wednesdays, and I'm in mass comm.
Mm-hmm.
So I take classes in the place of my work.
Yes.
So I'm always in the department.
Yes.
So it never feels like I have a day off, which is fun because I love my people, but also I want to lay in bed.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, we're here today on this day. Look over there.
You saw me spacing.
I did.
I was going into orbit.
It's okay to be in orbit.
I have all my earrings in.
You do.
All of them.
That's a lot.
All 19 of them.
I can't. I have 6. That's enough.
I have to get one more because I hate odd numbers.
Mm-hmm. I don't do piercings. I don't really. Well, that's because I have a keloid bad on one of mine, and I can't get rid of it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I quit getting piercings and just compensated with tattoos.
It'd be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where that guy brought up is because I have my space earrings in.
I see.
My moon.
The moons. I also have moons.
Stars. Yeah, you do.
I always wear moon earrings. I've always worn them too. They're my favorite. I have little moons and little rose quartzes because they're cute. And I have gold earrings. And right now,
I have silver, and my gemstones are pink and purple.
Cute. I need to put.
I like galaxy.
I do prefer silver.
I do too.
My necklace is silver, but I haven't changed my earrings. I think my nose ring is also gold. I don't know. I've had my nose pierced since I was 12.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it's always been there. It's a part of me. It does not come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it will ever come out at this point. I do wish it was a gauge bigger, though, because I accidentally shrunk it. Because I bought the wrong size.
Yeah.
I didn't know about sizes when I bought them. So
yeah, because you were younger.
I was younger, but now it's real thin, and I wish it was a little bigger. That's our piercing story.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's okay.
It's okay. Anywho, we're chilling.
Like a villain.
Fulfilling and grilling.
Yeah. We grill people.
We do grill people.
Mainly ourselves.
Yes.
That's the fun part, though.
It is. It's not fun unless you can't grill yourself. Yes.
I have more fun grilling myself.
Mm-hmm. I grill the boys down here though all the time. All the time.
As you should.
As I should. They
As you
deserve
should.
it. No. They're great. They're great boys. Our boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anywho, today's episode is a little different.
Little something that I've never even heard about.
That you've never even heard about. And I only heard about it because of the main homie Spencer Henry over at Cult Leader. But this was on his his other podcast, Obituary, which is a great name because it's spelled obitch.
I was gonna ask.
Yep, it is spelled obituary. So, and they're a great podcast. I mean, I love them. They're going on tour. I need to go. They are my influences. Thoughts?
Question for later.
Yes. Noted. Okay. Anywho, so the different thing we're talking about today is the Canary Girls. Now, this is a group of British women who worked in munitions manufacturing TNT, which is dynamite. Very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Very dangerous. So they were putting TNT into, like, big shell casings, and I mean, like, huge shell casings. I have the exact measurements in here somewhere, but this is just the little lowdown right now, and these shell casings are huge. TNT is toxic, and this happened during the First World War, which was 1914 to 1918. They got the nickname Canary Girls because the exposure to TNT is toxic, and repeated exposure can turn the skin a orange-yellow color. Don't play around in TNT too much, but I mean, I hope people aren't playing around in TNT like these women were playing around in TNT.
I think it was a lot easier access back then.
Yeah.
Because of the war going on.
I think so, too. I mean, these women were working in big factories, manufacturing these big shells, like mixing vats full of TNT, like big, like cauldron-type beats, I picture. So that's a lot of TNT.
Yeah. Very dangerous. Imagine if that, like, got ignited somehow.
Oh, just wait.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Am I calling stuff already?
A little bit. So.
I've been calling stuff, like,
you have been.
Like, nonstop. I'm taking from Zachary. Cause
you are.
That man. Side note, I'm sorry. We're watching The Walking Dead, as I've noted. But he has called every single thing. He called, spoiler alert, so skip a little bit if you don't want to hear anything. He called the Shane versus Rick fight.
Okay.
He didn't know who was going to win, but he knew one of them was going to kill the other one. He called Glenn and Maggie getting together.
Yes. Called
that Carl killed Lori. He called Maggie's pregnancy already. And we just finished we're on episode 5 now of season 3.
That's crazy.
That doesn't happen until season 5.
No.
Bria's making noises over there.
My body is making noises, which it was like a throat noise, too.
It was a throat noise.
It was one of those weird throat noises that you get.
Yeah.
He is calling it.
There was other stuff, too, that I'm like, how in the hell? Like, he could kind of, like, because of the coral thing, he kind of knew that something was going to happen there because he's never watched the show. But he's on Twitter, so he's going to see, because it pops up even.
I mean, that's, like, just a general meme.
Right.
That happens.
So he knew something happened around that. And he knows that Glenn dies because he saw spoilers. He just doesn't know how.
Yeah.
So it's been a time trying to keep quiet when we're watching. Let's just put it that way. I think he called the, like, trap between the Shane trying to lure Rick too. Yeah. His guessing skills what kills me.
They're
just in general. But just in the show.
This is a side note, but did you see all the things about another side note? That Netflix is stopping password sharing? You have my Netflix. You use my Netflix.
I know. So I'm fine. Like, Zach, we got to get on this because...
No, I think it will be fine.
I don't think it's going to be, like, anytime soon.
No.
But...
I don't understand it, but that's a whole other thing.
Because we're watching JoJo's, because we take turns, because we watch my show and then we watch his show.
That's what...
It's fair.
That's what Brandy and I do.
Yeah.
We watch, like, my movie, we watch his movie. Or we, like, pick... They're not sitcoms, but we pick, like, a show to watch just collectively. So right now we're watching that 70s show. Or we've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We've watched Parks and Recreation. Like, shows like that. Office-type shows.
Right.
Like how The Office is. We've seen The Office. So that's kind of what we do. And then, like, we'll sometimes watch. Like, he'll want to watch Seinfeld. And he'll put on an episode of Seinfeld and we'll watch Seinfeld. Or I got him to watch Julie and the Phantoms.
I still have to watch that.
You do have to watch that.
I'm working on it.
It's so quick and literally so quick and easy. The episodes are literally 30 minutes. And there's 9 episodes.
I'll see what I can do tomorrow at work.
Yes. You have to.
But we're watching Adventure Time collectively.
You know who is in Adventure Time that's in Julie and the Phantoms?
Who?
The guy who voices Finn.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yes.
So I might have to
Yes.
get on that really quick.
You do.
But
Anywho. You would love Reggie. He is so dumb.
Dumb people, I don't like dumb people that act dumb to get attention.
No, he's just dumb to be dumb, and they always look at him like, did this man really just say this right now? Or Alex is always like, Reggie's a little strange. That's literally a line in the show. Or no, Julie says that. She goes, well, there's like Luke and Alex and Reggie, but Reggie's always a little strange. It's so great. You would love it. Oh, it's so great. You have to watch it.
I'll get on it.
You do. Because I've watched how many seasons of Drag Race for you? No, I'm kidding.
That was collective. That wasn't on me.
That was collective.
I got you back into it. I dug open a grave.
You did.
That wasn't on me.
You're right.
That was on you.
You're right. It's fine.
I just kind of got you addicted. Then you got addicted to Viv, and then it's gone hill.
I love Viv. I do love Viv. Watch Julie and the Phantoms and Teen Wolf.
We'll see about Teen Wolf.
Yes.
We'll see.
It has the creepy spookies and cute white men. And what else do you need in life?
Not that.
Not that.
I don't really look at eye candy.
I do.
I don't.
I'm bad with it.
I used to when I was younger, but now I don't. I just kind of watch it for what it is.
Mm-hmm. And it's enjoyable. It gets me crying. It gets me in my feels. It's been my favorite show since I was like 8. So it has to get me in my feels. I didn't pay attention to the cute. I paid a little bit of attention to the cute men, but when I was 8. But I was also 8.
You were 8, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't understand the fangirl. We joke that I went to Fangirl University. And then we joke about, like, the units, the fangirl units, because I'm, like, an encyclopedia of just movies and weird stuff. So
Miss Anitra Stan that changed her profile picture back.
I did change my. But I took really cute pictures of me in my Psycho Killer shirt.
You did.
By the Talking Heads, not like a shirt with a Psycho Killer on it. Yeah, I was in a really cute outfit, so I had to change my picture to that because my outfits have been popping off lately. That's because I've been getting dressed in the morning because it's a new semester. But I probably won't be getting dressed in the morning after a couple months. Leggings.
I'm ready for short season.
I am ready for shorts. I do prefer shorts. I gotta show off the knee tat.
I gotta not wear pants. I hate pants.
I don't like pants.
I hate pants.
I don't like pants either. I like when my legs are out there, chilling. Pants in a hoodie, best.
Shorts and a hoodie.
Or I meant shorts and a hoodie, not pants.
Or like crew in a hoodie.
Yes. Long sleeves and hoodie. Or what? Long sleeves and shorts is the best.
Yes, long sleeves and shorts
is the best fit.
That's why I'm excited for spring. I love spring just for that reason.
I agree. Because that is the best outfit that you can get. Oh, yes. And you can't prove me otherwise.
I'm not going to prove you otherwise because we have the same opinion.
Yes.
Love that.
They are the best. I can't wait to put shorts on with this sweater.
Same.
Oh, that's going to be so comfortable.
I wanted to wear shorts so bad. I almost said no balls and go and do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it.
No. You were freezing.
I was freezing in pants, and I would have not.
You would have died.
Yeah.
Your legs would have been as red as your nose was.
Yes. We took pictures.
We did take pictures outside in the snow.
Yes.
By a body of water.
That was frozen over.
So it was giving more coldness.
It was giving cold.
It was giving cold. Anywho.
We love a tangent.
7 side tangents.
But yeah. I love shorts. That's all I got. I want to wear white shorts. I want to wear white shorts with this sweater.
That would be very cute.
That's what I want to do, but I couldn't find white pants anywhere. Yeah. Anywhere I went.
At the Ross in where I was yesterday, they had a pair of white pants. I'm not sure what size they were, though. White pants are scary.
I know, that's why I don't own any.
Yeah, I only wear black pants.
I found how many pairs of pants when I went to go look for pants this morning in my house? 7?
7 pairs.
That I just got out now.
Yeah. In February.
In
When
February.
it decided to be like -12.
But hey, now I can have fun pants for work.
Fun.
Because I found them.
Work.
They had yellow pants at Walmart.
Cute. I have a couple pairs of. I don't have like. I have yellow shorts, and I have like a Looney Tunes shirt that I wear those with. But that's. I definitely only wear like black pants. That's just my vibe. Though, I have 2 pairs of blue jeans. That's all you can get me in, and they're all ripped, knees out ripped jeans.
Knees naked.
Knees naked. You gotta have your knees naked, people. You're not living if your knees aren't naked.
My knees are not naked.
Your knees aren't naked. Tegan's not living.
I'm not.
No.
I'm just kind of here.
I felt that. Anywho.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. And like the transition sound. No. So in 1915, so literally 100 and how many years ago? 107 years ago?
108?
108 years ago?
Yeah, because it's 2023.
Yes. 108 years ago in 1950, in Britain, when men were fighting for their lives in war, thousands of women were answering the government's cry for help with war efforts. So women were viewed differently back then. Very differently.
Very.
So when these women started working in like these factories, they worked for the bare minimum, and they were really taken advantage of because they needed help, and they figured, well, our men are gone. These women here will take the bottom dollar to work with these hazardous materials and, risk their lives.
I mean, honestly, people still do that to this day.
They do.
In different countries.
They do. And it's horrible.
It's awful.
And that shouldn't happen.
No.
Because we're all people. Like, we're all just people trying to survive, and that shouldn't happen.
No.
So these thousands of women signed up to fill the gaps by those called in service. This means at a time when women typically didn't have jobs, especially these were factory jobs too. It wasn't like a job at a bakery.
Right.
Where, women are typically seen. They were in factories. They were called munitionettes, and they were battling the shell crisis of 1915. The hours were super regulated, and they couldn't even go on strike because of all of this. The factories were normally prime targets for enemy fire because they were helping build the weapons that the British were using in the war. So they normally got attacked pretty regularly.
I'm sure.
The main thing they did was take a shell casing, fill it with powder, and then put a detonator on the top that had to be tapped down. Now, tapping this detonator down was very, dangerous because what do you do if you tap a detonator down? Boof, boof. It blows up. So if they tapped it too hard, it would detonate. And what were they filling those shells with? Dynamite. TNT. They were literally the littlest mistap of this device.
It could have ended their life.
Could have ended their life. And for some women, it did end their lives. Because that was a regular thing that would happen to them. Explosions were a common occurrence, and there were many lists. There's lists that you can go look at of factories that exploded because somebody tapped a detonator too hard. These women were not fighting for their lives in combat, but they still fought many dangers with lasting effect. The ladies handled the explosive chemicals in their everyday lives, and these chemicals held a high risk of them contracting potentially fatal diseases. They wore no gloves when handling these explosives.
I can see the pluses and minuses to this.
Yes.
Because residue from gloves could do something.
Yeah.
But even with your bare hands, it's a lose-lose situation.
It is. I mean, just working at this factory was a lose-lose.
Yeah, it was a lose. It was a lose. It was a lose.
Working at these factories was, horrible. But it's what they had to do to survive.
Yeah.
So no gloves with handling the chemicals, And when they got to work, they were strip searched for any metal. And if they were wearing metal, it would be taken away from them. There was also fears that a rogue spark caused by static might lead to an explosion. So women were banned from wearing like silks and stuff like that.
Even any kind of material can really start a static thing.
Any material. So like, yeah, they were just not having a good time.
No.
At these factories. It was not good for them at all to be there.
No.
And it's really sad. So nylon and silk, no bueno. 2 women died every week from injuries or intoxication from the chemicals. 2 women every week for 4 years? That's crazy.
Well, there's 54 weeks in a year, right?
Yeah.
54 times 2. 108.
Mm-hmm.
108 times 4.
A lot.
A lot. I can't do that math right now.
I can't either.
I've done math all day.
Plus if there was an explosion
right.
or an airstrike
right.
or other diseases, which we'll get into, that were caused by these chemicals that may have taken them out.
Even diseases in general around this time. There wasn't any type of meds or anything that they could do anything about. So you could be taken out for just about anything back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were just there working. And it's really sad. And that's why I find this story so interesting, because you didn't know what the Canary Girls were.
Mm-mm. No.
And a lot of other people don't know what the Canary Girls are.
We got to bring
some
awareness to this. Yeah.
And there's a lot of groups of women that kind of stuff like this happened to for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that can be a series, because this is something I'm really interested in. Because there's like the Radium Girls and, you know, so many different types of women that
I'm sure
these things, weird things happen to because of like factory work or working with chemicals.
Because there was that, we talked about it in an episode a while ago, but the cyanide poisoning thing too.
Yes, yeah.
That was a mass, what's it called? Not like a mass, well, it was a mass.
Kind of.
It was a mass murder, essentially, but there was a different word for it.
Yeah.
But
there's so many weird things that happen. Or have you heard about, like, Excedrin, the headache pill?
No.
Somebody in Chicago took and, like, tampered with the pill bottles for Excedrin in stores, put, like, I can't remember what it was, but then, like, it killed a bunch of people around. Yeah.
That's concerning.
That is. So I've listened to that, and, like, pill bottles scare me now because that, or, what's it called? I can't remember, but it was put into letters and mailed, and it can be used for warfare, like disease warfare and stuff like that. And like at one point, what is it called? Why can't that's gonna bother me?
My brain went to fentanyl, but I don't think that's right.
It's not fentanyl, and it's not like it's not bacteria. It's like a disease, and I think it starts with an A, and it's not arsenic. It's A. I'll have to look it up because now it's gonna stick with me.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. But you know, these weird things, you're gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up
because it's gonna bother me now. We're gonna let Tegan look this up real quick before we move on from the conversation.
What's it? What was?
It was put in like letters, and like they were sent out, and it killed people, and it's like super toxic.
Anthrax?
Yes, anthrax poisoning. Anthrax is crazy.
My search history is gonna be messed up.
It happens every week when I research brain soup.
Tell me about it.
Weird things. That's when I start researching on the office computers.
Oh, no.
It's great. So for some of these women, the effects of their work were visible. These ladies would gain a light shade of yellow on their skin and hair, and that's how they became known as the Canaries, or the Canary Girls. This is because the shade was reminiscent of a yellow canary bird. This yellow tone was said to be temporary. It was caused by the workers packing shells with the TNT. This is because they were mixing the TNT with their bare hands, and the melanin in their skin would react to it. A substance called cordite was also used to fill the shells, and it was made from a mixture of gun cotton, nitroglycerin, and Vaseline petroleum. These were highly toxic mixtures, and they were made by hand in large vats by female workers. And the pictures are crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's pictures of, like, the yellow in their skin.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many lasting effects to this, even though this color was temporary. These women worked 12-hour shifts night and day and had very little training. And it's not good to have little training when you're working with toxic
No.
stuff.
You have to have a lot.
You have to have a lot of training, especially in like today's. You have to have like certificates. And my dad is a truck driver, and he there's like truck driving jobs where they handle toxic chemicals, and he has to go through special training just to drive those chemicals.
Yeah.
Let alone handle them with his bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
So they were definitely like, no one cared. No one cared. The shells were filled by this toxic mixture and were heavy and weighed between 10,000 pounds and 50,000 pounds. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the shells, there will be pictures of the shells where you guys look, because, I mean, if a woman is standing up, these shells were probably to their, like, midsection. That's how tall they were, and maybe even taller. By 1917, the factory at Gretna was producing 800 tons of quartite per week.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's a lot. Around this time, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle visited the factory, and it seems he was the one who christened it, the quartite mixture, the devil's porridge. Of those who survived life in the factories, many had lasting health problems in later life.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, they were breathing this in. It was probably hot, and, I mean, no safety protocols. Like, now, in today's world, I'd picture they'd have you in, like, a hazmat suit.
I would hope.
Working with this stuff. Like,
I would hope.
Full PPE, face shield, masks, gloves, probably like a rubber suit or something like that. I'd picture. I don't know. Some reported bone disintegration.
Nice.
While others developed throat problems and dermatitis from the TNT staining. So this is a quote from Dr. McCartney. They said, "The woman suffered all sorts of illnesses and ailments from turning yellow, but turning yellow was probably the least of their problems. They accepted all sort of terrible working conditions. They knew they were putting themselves in danger. TNT was yellow. They saw what was happening. Though the skin turning yellow wasn't permanent, others suffered more sinister illnesses. One of the most serious being a liver disease called toxic jaundice." So if you guys don't know what jaundice is, and this was toxic jaundice, but jaundice is a disease that kind of shuts down the liver.
Yeah.
So not good. I know there's like babies are born with jaundice, and they can tell right away because the baby will come out yellow
or like a yellow
or
tint.
yellowy tint. Their eyes are yellow. So jaundice isn't good. That's essentially liver failure because of this chemical. And I mean, you can see why.
Right.
It's a chemical. There were 400 cases of this disease during World War I, a quarter of which were fatal. They had people just dying. And that's just from, I mean, there was explosions. I can't get over the explosions.
Yeah, no.
According to Dr. Helen McCartney from the King's College London, some workers gave birth to yellow babies, deemed the canary babies. Yeah. So, I mean, from these women, their kids were coming out yellow because of this substance.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Imagine all the other effects that...
And the babies probably could have got jaundice, too.
I'm sure
The
they
bone
would have,
disintegration. I mean, when, you're attached to your mom with, like, in
You
their
get all
belly,
that.
what your mom gets, you get. That's like fetal alcohol syndrome and
a whole bunch of other things.
all of that stuff. So these, the babies were having these effects, let alone the women that were carrying the babies. Gladys Sangster, whose mother worked at the National Filling Factory No. 9 near Banbury, Oxford, was one of them. "I was born, and my skin was yellow," she says. She told the BBC. That's why they were called the canary babies. That was only one of the effects of working with those dangerous chemicals in everyday lives. With every shell that passed through the women's hands, they risked amputation. They also risked losing fingers, hands, as well as burns and blindness. There was a story of a woman who was filling the shells with TNT. She tapped the shell down too hard, and it caused it to detonate in front of her. The explosion caused her to go blind and lose both of her hands. The woman was pregnant at the time, but she was able to safely deliver the baby. She was only able to identify the baby by using her lips because most of her body didn't have feeling. This was just one story of the many of people that were injured by the incident, let alone, yeah. So,
This pisses me off on so many levels.
because they did not care about women. They were literally, I've said it in this episode already. They were like, women, they can work for like a quarter of what men do. And then we can work them till death, literally, and have all we need while they are literally like getting blown up. Yeah. It makes me sick that this stuff used to happen. Because there was many factories at this time that were doing
I'm
this.
sure.
Not just the couple that we've talked about.
Like, I have an issue with the women, like, in this type of work, or anybody in this type of work, but sometimes it needs to be done, unfortunately.
It does need to be done sometimes, unfortunately.
But having pregnant women do that, pisses me off.
Yes. The pregnant women. Yes.
Why?
And there was many pregnant, like this woman, because they did not care. They were like, so what? She's pregnant. She can work. Yeah.
If she wants to work, she can do something else.
Yes.
If you want more people in this world to do what you want them to do, they need to be able to be healthy enough to do so.
Yes.
And this is not a step.
No. Yeah. That story really... That's like one of the main stories that there's not a lot of like stuff about the Canary women the Canary Girls out there, because this is really a group of people that are overlooked. I mean, I've only ever heard one thing about them that interested me in them, and before that I didn't know who they were. And there's no movies about them. There's a couple books. There's not much people say about them, and they don't really know how many lives were lost because of all of this.
I'm sure there was a lot more.
I'm sure,
like a lot more. Even babies too.
Yes, and I'm sure some
the amount of miscarriages potentially that would have happened.
Some miscarriages happened.
Stillbirths even.
Stillbirths. I'm sure pregnant mothers passed because of an explosion. There was many lives lost because of the explosion.
Why put these people at risk? I know, like, back then, men did not care.
Yeah.
They wanted what was best for them. They wanted their women to stay at home with the kids.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't at all. It is sickening.
It's awful. I hate how men think back then. Like,
and even there's men that still
think this way now.
When I was working at a coffee shop, there was a man, and he looked at me and he goes, "I don't want her to serve me." And like that made me feel like shit, you know?
Yeah.
My manager, thank God for the homie, he looked at this man. He was a regular too, and he had never done. I've taken his order many a times, but that specific day he goes, "I don't want her to serve me." And then my manager slammed his order down on the I've never seen but like him get like that, but he slammed the order down and he goes I don't even remember what he said, but like that is not a good feeling, and this happened to those women
every single day, every second of the day.
Yes.
Made these women do this stuff.
Yeah. It's revolting.
It's horrendous.
It is. And like you said, some countries, they still view
They still do this.
Where was it? Pakistan?
I have no idea.
Iraq. I just watched, I didn't just watch, it was last semester in my photojournalism class. I just watched a documentary about a woman photojournalist in Iraq. And she told a story about how she was walking down the street with her mom when she was little. And like she was little, and I don't think her head or her hair was covered up or something, and they literally attacked her and her mother on the street because that's how they view women, and like she gets viewed at different, and like can barely get work there because she's in a journalism career, and journalism already in Iraq is weird.
Yeah.
Because of, I can't remember what it's called right now. But it's like they banned photos and there literally took everybody's family photos, burnt them, took cameras, burnt them, and like, so yeah, third world countries are crazy to think about because stuff like that happens to them there, and it's heartbreaking because I've said it in this episode, we're all just people trying to live and work, and you have to work nowadays to survive.
And that's what they wanted.
And that's what they wanted. So they were working for their survival because their, significant others were gone, and it's horrible.
It's awful. I don't like how these people made these women do this.
I don't either.
Like I said, especially pregnant women.
Yes.
It didn't make any sense because that's all men wanted at that time period was kids to raise for soldiers.
Yes. Literally.
It doesn't make any sense.
And if it was a girl, then, well, that's tough.
That's another house worker for...
Yeah, another man.
Yep.
Down the road.
Yep.
Could never.
It's awful.
It is really bad. And I feel like it was especially bad at that time in America.
Oh, yeah.
And in England. Because this is where this all happened in England. There's no monument for these women or anything that shows what they went through. And I really think there needs to be a monument.
There has to be.
Some of the women are on war monuments around them. Some women are on the war monuments. But
that's a start.
That's a start. But I think there needs to be a whole monument.
Yeah.
This needs to be a story that is talked about more.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting, but also so many people
lost their lives
because of it.
Yeah.
There's only partial lists of the women. When I was looking, I don't like using Wikipedia.
No.
But the only one I could find was like on Wikipedia of the partial list of women that this stuff happened to. And there was only like 40 women on that list.
And who's to say if they even kept track?
Yes, track. They probably were like...
Because they lost them so often.
Yeah, they were like, well, there's another one.
Right.
Just, take her out. Uh-oh. After one particular explosion, there was a big funeral, like a group funeral that happened with a big procession for the women of the other munitionettes kind of standing their ground for them because those were their, girls.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they built huge bonds.
Oh, they would have to in that kind of environment.
Working in that environment. So.
To get through all that.
Yeah.
You would need somebody to talk to, especially with their significant others being away and they don't have anybody.
Yeah.
But who they're working with.
Literally.
And they never know who's going to pass on next.
And that's scary.
That's awful.
Imagine going to work every day and being like, well, I wonder what's going to happen today. Is someone going to tap down too hard?
Am I going to tap down too hard?
I'd be so nervous every time I would tap.
Yeah.
Those things down. Like... And then, like, you got to think about the women that it happened to and they survived. They have to have, like, survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Or they have to live their lives with no feelings in their hands, no sight, no hands at all, no legs. Like...
Liver failure.
Probably so many other diseases that,
Lung cancer, probably.
Lung cancer has to be a big... Throat cancer has to be a big one.
Even brain cancer, I would think, potentially.
I would think that as well. I mean, you're breathing it in.
Yeah.
Like, and they literally, like, I'm pretty sure how they was stirring it was, like, big vats. Like, I don't know why I'm doing, like... I'm showing examples with my hands because
you talk with your hands.
I do talk with my hands. But like big vats, and they have like a wooden stick or something, and they're just stirring it. These splash ups on their skin and
even in their eye, in their mouth,
in their mouth,
anywhere.
Yeah, horrible. And that's really the story. It's a pretty quick story because there's not a lot of.
But a gruesome one.
But a gruesome one. Because there's just not a lot of sources about them. There was like a couple British websites that talked about them, and then the rest were just, and like short paragraphs about them too. Like, these were the Canary Girls.
They weren't cared about.
They weren't. And I think that's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, we said women were not.
This is a whole episode about just how women were treated like
Awful
back then. There's some stuff about like them in the National Museum of Wales. So a Welsh museum, munitions factory. Oh, looks like it's from like a school. There's a book by a woman called Jennifer Cheverny called The Canary Girls, which looks pretty interesting. I'd like to read that. Because, yeah. Another book. There's a play about it. I didn't mention that. There is a play about it, which
That's
is
something.
Pretty cool. That is something.
That's something.
There's a couple videos about that, but the videos are only about 14 minutes long, because I did watch a video as a source, and it was 14 minutes long. Meanwhile, a source about, like, a murder is, like,
a long
video.
Long. And this is murder.
Yes.
Essentially. And as it is a murder, it should be talked about more.
Yeah, there is a poster that kind of sticks with me from the time, and it says, these women are doing their bit. They make munitions, and I have that will be in the video, but they're like posters being like, enroll to work here, because they're doing their part. So you guys, if you're a woman and you're not doing your part, then you should do your part.
It's a guilt trip.
It's a guilt trip. Yeah. Or, like, and I'm sure some women are doing it because they're kind of putting their foot down, like, well, men work. I can work, too. There's not a lot of, like, in-color pictures from the time, because it's
1915.
1915. That novel's going to stick in my head. There's, like, face cream ads that, like, talk about being a munitions worker. And, like, if your skin is this way, then you should use this face cream because it will help your skin. Yeah. So I think that's kind of, not funny, but, like, they were trying. Anything they could. Oteen face cream. As a munition worker's nose, yet many wait until the dirt and the grime of the munition shop or factory have actually settled into their pores of their skin before they use the product. So they're like, you guys must really be going through it. You should use this and it will fix it. Here's a picture of the shells. There's lines of them.
They're massive.
And they, like, are lined up against a wall. There's, like, comic books drawings of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who know. And then there's people who never hear about the story a day in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad.
I wonder if there's any ancestors around that want to tell their...
I do too.
Stories.
But that was, let's see, they'd have to be grandchildren at this point.
Around there.
Yeah, because if they were born in, like... 1915, then they're probably long gone, let alone the munition workers.
Yeah, it would have to be grandkids.
Would be. So it would be grandkids and great-grandkids of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have about this story, which is sad because I feel like it's so short compared to other things. But there's not a lot. It's just these women turned yellow. Some might have had cancer, and they died. But
it angers me.
It does anger me too. I wish there was more on them. And there's a rare story here and there about their, like, how the children turned yellow. Or there is a picture that was floating around of one of the munition workers, and, like, right before she passed. And it's a crazy story. I'm sad for the women that had to experience this. I am. But that was our story for this week. Let us know.
It was a rough one.
It is a really, really rough one. Like, I just can't fathom some of it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me angry at the men of that time.
Oh, yes.
Because they absolutely did not care.
I was angry before, but now it's just like anger.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this stuff. And
it's gross stuff.
It's not just women that were harmed. It was kids and babies.
Literal babies.
Yes.
And kids lost.
Yeah.
Mothers who were all they had because their fathers
was out.
Were at the fighting in a war.
So imagine the amount of orphans that were around, and that's just...
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
Mm-hmm. Or kids that came out, like, born with the effects. Imagine, then that if they passed after birth, then that's a mother who
without
lost a baby
yeah.
because of the work. There's so many ways that it goes around, like parents without kids, kids without parents,
grandparents without
their
kids or grandkids.
Or grandkids. It was affecting all parties.
Mm-hmm.
In war is just not good at all, and was the starting point of this.
Mm-hmm.
There was a war going on, and they needed someone to help, and who's not doing anything
when they're
could be doing more, when in reality
they're doing everything
they could. Yeah it's disgusting, and times have changed, but there's still some changes that can happen.
Changes that need to happen.
Because there are sometimes women, especially in like the industries that me and you are kind of in, there are women that do the work,
but they don't get the credit.
The credit or paid enough, or there has been a couple movies that the new Scream movie specifically, the lead woman, she left the movie, but she was the lead woman from the first one until the last one that came out last year, and they were giving her less money, and she quit. She was like, she's like, I'm the face of your movie. Her name, Neve Campbell. She's played Sidney Prescott, who's literally the entire movie. The entire reason why Ghostface is coming after them is because her character, his family, and they were like, we're going to give you less money this time around. And she was like, absolutely not. I will not be doing this work for you.
No.
Or there was, what's another? It
happens in the industries all the time.
It does, and it's sick. I'm sure teachers.
I'm sure.
Professors.
In any workforce, honestly.
Any workforce. They're like...
It's supposed to be illegal.
It is, but it happens.
It happens.
It does. And it's heartbreaking because women don't deserve... We're all people.
We're all people. We should all be treated.
Yes, like the same people.
Yeah.
Let alone, I'm sure, people of color.
Oh, sure.
Also, that's a whole other...
That's a whole other...
But if you're not a white man, then get out of here.
That's
is what they think.
Yeah.
If you were not a white man, then get out of here. Not good. Not good. And the generations of people that still view it like that.
It's awful.
It's awful.
I hate that people still think that way.
How can you still think about that way?
It runs in families, and it comes from parents. Parents teach their kids from wrong, and their kids don't know any better.
That's nurture. And some kids find their nature, but others are nurtured to view
certain ways.
And that's sad.
It's a cycle that needs to be broken.
It is. But it will never be broken.
No. I would hope it would be, but it will never. No. There's no going back from how far we've...
No. And
with how far the world has gone with this type of thing.
Yeah.
Is that it should not matter your race, skin color, sexuality, or anything. No. It should not matter.
Because you're a person.
You are a person, and be treated as you should be as a person.
Yes. Like, why can't we all just go live our lives and, we're working.
We're working.
We have families. We have friends. We eat. We sleep. We use the bathroom.
We all do the same thing.
We do. So what's
What's the difference between a skin color? What's the difference between an age gap? What's the difference between anything?
Yeah, literally.
It's all about work ethic and how much people put in.
Yeah, horrible. And like, I've said it again, the Radium Girls, and there's other groups of women or people that have went through chemical stuff and like unfair work. I think the Radium Girls, I might be mistaken. I have not heard something about the Radium Girls in so long. I think that happened in the 50s. And I think it was women of color? No, maybe. I think I'm thinking of this, the the movie about the girls of color that did like math, Hidden Figures.
It was in the 1920s.
Okay. Oh, so not long.
1927.
Not long after this. So I would like to look into the Radium Girls for myself. So if you guys want to hear about the Radium Girls,
let us know.
Let us know, because that might be something fun to, well, not fun, but good to talk about.
This
Radium.
probably should be one that we talk about.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm looking at the side effects of it, and it says spine being broken.
Oh. Well, they became frail.
Yeah.
Or what's it called? It's something with we're on a whole other thing now. Let's go to obituary, because there's so many. They did a whole episode of just about people who worked with things that Fossy Jaw.
I've never heard of that.
That one, if you think this one is like revolting and sickening, Fossy Jaw, I think that's what it is even worse, because be careful looking up pictures.
I'm scared.
Because that was even worse than this by far. Oh, it starts with an F.
Oh.
Yeah.
We might have to do a whole thing on...
whole series on stuff like this, because... And it's all women.
Mm-hmm.
It is all women workers. All around the same time period, too. Because that's when the women were in the factories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's radium, Fossy Jaw. That's because of phosphorus and matches. Lord.
Let us know what you guys want us to talk about, like, relating to this kind of stuff, because I think we are very...
interested in it, and I think they're just stories that need to be told.
Be brought more awareness to.
Yes.
So people know what kind of stuff that...
happened in the past.
Like, we know about, like, the Civil War and, like, World War stuff, but we
don't hear about the men parts.
Yeah, we don't know about the women.
We don't know about the women who were, like, I love the quote that I put in there about women were fighting for their lives, but not in the wars.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
Every day, there's that what if this happens? What if my best friend over there who's doing the same thing that I'm doing, what if they knock on this too hard?
Mm-hmm. What would happen to me? What would happen to
them? Am I pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Will my baby come out when there's something wrong with my baby?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't imagine how they felt.
Even during this time period, babies didn't survive long.
No.
No matter what.
No, because think of how advanced we are, and we're
now,
still advancing.
Yeah.
Compared to,
what it was back then.
Like,
they would have 10 to hope that 2 survived.
Literally. Diseases were just...
Yeah.
Could take you... Literally having a cold...
Could have taken your
life. The common cold. Or you pick a scab. Well, there's your life.
Take your life.
There's your leg. Because you picked a scab.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you eat a strawberry. Uh-oh.
Poison.
Yeah. I can't believe how much this has gotten off onto 6 other tangents.
But
about the time period.
That relates to it, though.
It does. It really does. I don't know. Thinking of the women back then, today, tonight, and, those are family stories now.
Yeah.
Like, did you know that your grandma
was doing this?
Canary Girl?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how hard your grandma worked for this stuff? Like, and the trauma, they major trauma.
Yeah.
Like, that fits in with the survivor's guilt. Like, you watch your friend blow up over there and imagine how you feel.
Or you're across the room and you hear it.
Yes. Yes. It's not worth it.
No.
But war, people are at war, and it just leads back to war with this episodes. It all started with there was a war. And that's horrible.
Awful.
So, like we said, let us know if you guys want any more on the women who were
during this time period, or in any type of time. Yeah.
If you guys have a story of like something kind of like this,
let us know.
Because I mean, we talked about Fozzie Jaw and radium, but I'm sure there's
way more.
Isn't there? I think radium is in that glass. That there's like a glass that's toxic and turns yellow under a black light, but I think that's radium as well, like radium glass. But those are the two that come to mind. So if you'd like to hear about those, or if you have any other stories of munitionettes working and something that happened to them, then let us know.
Please do.
Please do. We forget in every episode, but follow us on our social media.
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
They will be linked below.
We're trying to post more regularly.
We are. It's rough. We're college students. If an episode's ever late or anything like that, give us grace.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, because we're working hard for these degrees. We have a couple very big things coming for you guys with some podcasting stuff that we're doing for our classes, specifically Tegan. This episode is actually one that I wrote for a class. So, hello, Professor, if you listen to this, because I know I'm going to send you a link. But yeah.
We have some cool stuff coming for you in the future.
We do.
Especially on my end.
Oh, yeah. Tegan is working her butt off.
I'm trying so hard.
She is. That's cool, though. Like, we already went, Tegan, kind of, how do I explain it? We already learned how to podcast last year and do all this stuff. But in one of Tegan's classes,
I'm doing scripts for podcasting.
Yes.
I'm learning how to write news leads. I'm writing anything in the media. And I asked specifically if I could get some honors credit for doing a actual podcast script for us to record for you guys.
Yes.
And they agreed.
Yes, because we came into this last, semester and year with established podcasts and stuff. Like, I have to do... Yeah, we were ahead of the game, because I have to do, like, an audio interview and all of that stuff. So, who knows? We also have been talking about a little audio documentary.
That, I feel we should keep under wraps for a little bit.
But we're not going to tell you any more about that.
But just...
That's all I have to say about that.
Just keep on your toes.
Just keep on your toes.
We've got a lot planned. And we want to bring more awareness to a lot of things.
We do. We want to use this as a platform.
Right.
And help other people use their voices. Because...
Using your voice matters.
Using your voice matters. Your outlet matters. And this is our outlet.
Yep.
And we want to share our outlet with others who may not have that.
We want to give other people their stories and awareness on their stories. And that's what we want to do with this audio doc.
Yes.
We want to give this little girl.
Yes.
Her voice.
Her voice. And that's all we're going to say about that. Yes. But I think this is where we leave you. Just know big things. And we love you. And we appreciate you for listening to us be the rambliest of rambles.
It happens.
It does. It does. We get our story across.
It just takes a minute.
It does. Anywho. We will see you when we see you guys.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks time, guys. With another episode of Brain Soup. Bye-bye.
Bye.